Oh, good day, folks. So I'm just out in the shop, and I'm going to make a few antler or stag lanyard beads. I thought I'd film the process. I may post it, I may not. Who knows? We'll see how it turns out. But we've got just a collection of small antlers here, and I just cut them down, drill them out, sand off the edges, and make antler beads. So here we go. I normally do this in a vise, but for filming purposes, I thought I'd try it this way. I could always clamp it down, but I kind of like to do things the hard way first. If you master the hard way, then you appreciate the easy way a lot more. So there we have it. So I usually don't go for a particular length. I kind of let the horn dictate that, but in case anybody is curious, that piece comes in right about 3/4 of an inch. So next I will drill it out, and I'll try and set something up here so you can see that. Okay, so I've got about a 3/8 inch bit here, and then I just take a little piece of horn and I clamp it in a vice grip just to keep my hands away from the drill bit, and there will be some torque on it, and if I don't have something holding the piece of antler tight, the bit's just going to try and spin it. So just come over, line up where I want that to hit through. You always have to be mindful of the angle of the horn. If you don't have it angled right, you may drill down through the center on the top and come out through the side on the bottom. That looks pretty good there. So we'll get that fairly well centered. Now the next step is just to take some sandpaper, round out the edges, and maybe sand down the sides a little bit, give it that kind of look like a stag handle on a knife. So that comes next. Alright, so first I will just go on the flat just to make sure if there's any burrs or anything, I take those off. And then next we just gradually work along the edge to round that out. phone call. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. This, if you're curious, right here is 100 grit. If I was using a mechanical sander, I would start out at this higher grit, but I'm doing it by hand, so this will speed things up a little bit. And don't go like boom, 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 all on one edge. Work it around as you go, so you're not creating any flat spots. Anyway, I will plug away at this, and we won't make you suffer through it, and then I will check back in as I have some progress made. Okay, so I've rounded the edges. I stepped down to a lighter grit, 220, just to smooth things out. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of the sandpaper and go into the channel here, just to try and take the edge off in there. Because whether you string this on leather or paracord or some kind of rope, you don't want a sharp edge in there that may gradually cut away at your rope. That should do the trick. So you could, if you wanted to, call that finished. But I want to try and step down a little bit with removing a bit of the outer layer, the darker layer, to try and give it that look that you get with like a stag handle on a knife. Because usually when they're shaping the stag, they're going to leave the thickest part to the center and then work down, taper it from there so that you have, you know, more of a shape like that to your handle, where it's wider in the center to fit into the palm of your hand and then narrower to the front and the back. So I want to give it that look. It doesn't take a lot to do this, as you can see. And I kind of like to, whenever I have a rise or an edge, I like to work it down a little bit further there. Thought I went a little too far there, but that was just dust. Yell at me if I wander off camera. Hopefully everybody down Florida way and Georgia way makes it okay with that hurricane that's coming through. This is Thursday when I'm doing this, but I've got a thankful Thursday video that I'm dropping today that I hope you all check out, because I got quite a package in the mail from some of the fellas down south, and it kind of spoiled me a little bit. It was, if you've seen the video, I'm sure you can tell I was a little bit at a loss for words. Not that I ever talk a whole lot, I'm sure you noticed. So if you haven't checked that out, maybe go over and give that a look. Not so much just for me to have a look, but just so those fellas get some attention for the kindness that they did. So this here, you just do it to your own taste, or don't do it all if you don't like it. I go until I get that look I'm wanting. Work the different ridges and angles. I think that kind of looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more right there. I'll take a nip right there. I think that's looking pretty good. So there you have it. That's how I go about making stag or deer antler lanyard beads. And if you can look here, you get a pretty good idea what I'm going to be up to today. This little one here, I'd love to find a tiny little ferro rod to pop into that one. I think that would be a pretty cool handle for a small ferro rod. And then we're going to take one of these big fellers here and make a new handle for this rod. I just have to decide which one. You got to pay attention to the beam thickness and circumference, because you're dropping a pretty big bit to drill down in there, and you want to make sure you're going to catch the right angle into the beam so you don't come out through the side. I think this one here might be my better option. Still have to work the bone off of that, but I think that'll look pretty sharp. Anyhow, folks, we'll leave it at that. So maybe I'll post a picture of a handful of these things when I get done. Anyways, hope you're all having an awesome day and an awesome weekend ahead, and I hope everybody down in Florida and Georgia was able to weather the storm with no injury, loss of life, and damage to property. I know that's a lot to ask with these hurricanes, but we can ask for it. Y'all take care.